Hello and welcome. This is Jginyue B450I Plus, a $56 AM4 ITX motherboard. This is probably as cheap as an AM4 motherboard can get while retaining most of features you want. There are cheaper AM4 ITX motherboards than this one, and I will show what they are in near future, but this one is probably as low as you should get. By choosing a 450 chipset instead of 550, you are opting out of any chance of PCI Express version 4 for the GPU. In exchange, you save $8. The decision is yours to make. If your budget is really tight, I can see how you might choose this instead of something better. Regardless, it has two M.2 slots, and all other major features you find on far more expensive motherboards. It appears to even have a BIOS flashback button in the back. Again, the problem is with the GPU PCI Express version. Even NVIDIA 3060 uses PCI version 4. Being restricted to version 3 will have some negative effect on your GPU performance. How much, I do not know. But the higher tier GPU, the more impact it will have. You see Jginyue B450 and B550 side by side. Both look virtually identical, albeit some slight differences. Again, the main difference is the PCI version for GPU. Feature-wise, everything else is almost the same. There is one thing to note, meanwhile. B550 does not support Ryzen 3000 series and below. B450, in contrast, does support Ryzen 3000 series. It claims to support the entire Ryzen AM4 CPU lineup, meaning 1000 to 5000. Whether that's true, I don't know because I don't have the CPUs to test that. I can only test with Ryzen 3400-4300. Anyway, the price difference does make me wonder. Is $7 really worth saving at this point? All of recent GPUs use PCI Express version 4. It is not about future-proofing at this point. It's about keeping up with the standard. If you don't plan to use a dedicated GPU, then B450 makes more sense. However, there are cheaper AM4 ITX motherboards than this in such a case. If you are wondering why I don't have a heatsink installed, that's because I just wanted to see whether it boots with Ryzen 3 4000G. It does boot with it, confirming that it does support Ryzen 3000 series. BIOS is recent and trusted platform module 2.0 is also detected, so installing Windows 11 is no problem either. There is no RGB setting within BIOS itself. Given the fact that it advertises ARGB, they probably have a software for it. Upon checking the M.2 slots, I found that the primary one operates at version 3 speed with 4 lanes. The second M.2 operates at version 2 speed with 4 lanes, which is the same as version 3 with 2 lanes, or version 4 with just 1 lane. Both are still far faster than any SATA drives, and you won't probably be able to tell a difference unless you are transferring a large file. This is more than good enough for the price point. And the motherboard passed a simple stress test, which was just pushing it to the maximum for about 10 minutes. When a motherboard is as cheap as this, people generally wonder about its quality. I do use some of motherboards I review on the channel as either a media PC or a server that runs 24/7. So far, none of them has failed absurdly. Additionally, when I inspect the motherboards closely, I don't see any clear faults with the way they are built. Yes, they are cheap, maybe even illogically cheap, given how expensive motherboards are in North America. But that doesn't mean they are automatically bad. And, from my own experiences, I cannot say that they are bad because none of them has failed on me, so far at least. This B450i motherboard. It's not bad. I did mention some cheaper ones. One is from the same company and it's based on 350 chipset. Another is ASRock A320. Personally, I don't want to recommend any 300 chipset in 2025, but the options to go cheaper is there. Anyway, the two M.2 slots are the crucial feature in my opinion. No one should be using SATA drives in 2025 unless it's for purely storage. A SATA drive requires more cables and more space. They are absolutely despised in small form factor builds. That's what makes having at least two M.2 slots an important factor for me. Anyway, this thing costs $56 US. This is an unbeatable price for what it offers. However, you must consider its younger brother based on 550 chipset, which costs only $7 or $8 more. This motherboard, while good for its price, is showing its age. I do feel that 550 chipset should be the bare minimum if you are choosing to stick with AM4 platform in 2025. And your CPU should be at least 5600X at the least. That CPU with 550 chipset will offer PCI Express version 4 for your GPU, and those two should still be good even in 2025, while still being quite inexpensive. Thank you for watching and see you next time.